These are two free vehicles in GTA Online this week worth a combined $3.75 million. And unlocking both of them costs exactly $0 if you know what each challenge actually requires. One pulls a 2-minute 37-second lap time and runs right alongside the fastest hypercars the supercar class has to offer. The other clocks a 3-minute 22 and earns every second of that time, because speed was never the point with a car like this. Both of them, what they normally cost, how to get them free, how they perform on real track laps, and whether either one deserves a spot in your garage. That is what this video covers. $3,750,000 across two vehicles, and not a single dollar of that needs to come out of your pocket this week. First up, the Grotti Visione, which normally runs $2,250,000 on the in-game websites. Pulling it for free means finishing the LS Car Meet Prize Ride Challenge, which locks you into finishing top 5 in the LS Car Meet series for 4 consecutive days. No gaps, no skipped sessions for days straight. Land top 5 each time, and the Vision drops into your garage at no cost. On the other side, the Albany Brigham carries a price tag of $1,499,000, and getting it free comes down to a single lucky will spin at the Diamond Casino. No multi-day commitment, no streak to maintain, just one spin, and either the Brigham is yours or it is not. Two cars, two completely different unlock methods, and, as you will see, two completely different reasons to want them. Grotti is GTA Online's version of Ferrari, which makes it genuinely strange that the Vision looks almost nothing like a Grotti vehicle. From the front end, this car reads as a reimagined McLaren P1. And once you notice that, the comparison is hard to unsee. Moving to the side profile and the rear, the P1 likeness fades out, but the front end carries that shape cleanly. And it works in the car's favor because the design lands well regardless of what you compare it to. Performance-wise, top speed sits right alongside the Nero and the Truffade Nero Custom from Benny's, which is solid company for a free car. Off the line, acceleration hooks up immediately and the launch feels clean with no will spin drama to manage. Where the Vision quietly earns its place in the class, though, is downforce because this car stays planted at high speed in a way that a lot of supercars do not manage. And more specifically, it holds grip even when you lift off the throttle mid-corner rather than requiring you to stay on the gas just to maintain traction through the bend. Rear-wheel drive does introduce one real handling note. Push too hard through a tight corner and the back end steps out, which means the car rewards drivers who lift slightly and stay smooth over those who try to muscle through every turn. Stay controlled, and the Vision handles the corner cleanly, and that balance between grip and snap makes it noticeably easier to drive consistently than its lap time alone suggests. 2 minutes 37 seconds came up on the test lap, and the expectation going in sat around 2:45, so the car ran faster than anticipated. For context, the fastest supercars in the game break below 2:30, and the range where genuinely quick supercars land clusters around the low to mid-230s. 2:37 places at the upper end of that band, which puts the Vision at the top end of average to slightly above average for the class. Not the fastest car available, but quicker than it feels from behind the wheel, and that gap between feel and actual output is exactly what you want to see. One thing the Vision does not have access to is HSW upgrades, and without them, the top speed feels like it has room it cannot reach. Add HSW to this car, and it realistically slots into the top 10 supercars in the game. But without that option, the ceiling stays where it is. Customization available on the Vision covers front bumpers, rear bumpers, spoilers, performance upgrades, suspension, windows, liveries, and paint, but the unique options in that list are the bumpers and spoilers. And even those mostly come down to carbon versus painted finishes rather than anything that meaningfully reshapes the car's silhouette. Stock, the Vision looks better than most of what the customization menu can do to it. So if the base design is what drew you in, the version you unlock is likely the version you keep. $2,250,000 saved for 4 days of top 5 finishes. The lap time justifies the grind. The driving feel backs the lap time, and the verdict is simple. Unlock it before the week ends. Reset expectations entirely before getting into the Brigham, because almost nothing from the Vision review carries over to this one. Classic era design defines the Albany Brigham from every angle, carrying heavyweight vintage personality into your garage in a way that very few vehicles in GTA Online actually pull off. Many players customize it directly into an Ecto, one from Ghostbusters, and the base shape supports that conversion well enough that it has become one of the more well-known things to do with this car. Styled all black, it reads as something out of the 1960s, the kind of vehicle that would have been used for a presidential motorcade, and that framing tells you exactly what the Albany Brigham is. Style comes first, and performance is not in the conversation. 3 minutes 22 seconds on the test lap stands as the slowest time recorded in this review series since it started, and that number earns every second of that runtime honestly. Acceleration off the line is sluggish, building momentum slowly and reaching top speed even later than that slow build suggests, with the top speed itself landing on the low end of what any vehicle in this class should reach. Handling arrives heavy and unresponsive. Understeer shows up before you even start pushing. Body roll through corners becomes extremely noticeable once speed builds, and the turning radius turns tight track sections into wide, slow negotiations rather than actual corners. Two things genuinely hold up despite all of that. Braking is actually decent for a vehicle carrying this much weight and size, which is not a given in this class, and traction holds surprisingly well for how heavy the car runs, maintaining grip through corners without the constant sliding that a car built around style over performance might otherwise produce. Crash behavior deserves a mention of its own, not as a performance quality, but as a mechanical quirk worth knowing. When the Brigham connects with another vehicle, the mass carries momentum clean through the impact, pushing the other car aside rather than coming to a stop, which makes it unexpectedly capable of cutting through traffic when things get chaotic. Suspension setup matters more than it might seem on a car like this. Running the suspension fully slammed eliminates a body roll problem that would otherwise show up dramatically even at low speeds, making the already heavy handling feel actively worse. Slam it down as far as it goes, and the car at least behaves predictably. The Willard Eudora sits in a similar performance range, though the Brigham comes in slightly below even that comparison point. And the honest read is that the Eudora remains the more livable daily driver between the two. That said, the Brigham is not trying to compete with the Eudora, and it does not pretend otherwise. $1,499,000 for a free Lucky Wheel spin is worth keeping in your garage. The personality is real, the Ghostbusters customization route is genuinely fun to build, and a free car at that price is never worth declining. Paying full price for it is a different decision entirely, and the performance numbers make that a straightforward no. Locking in both vehicles before the event closes runs on two separate tracks at the same time, and one of them has a deadline that tightens the longer you wait. The Vision's Prize Ride Challenge demands for consecutive top 5 finishes in the LS Car Meet series, with no room for a missed day anywhere in that streak. Start the challenge with fewer than 4 days remaining in the current event, and the window closes before the streak can complete. Getting into the LS Car Meet races as early as possible in the week, hitting top 5 each session, and not breaking the streak on any single day is the only path to the car. Miss one day and the entire progress resets. The Brigham works on a simpler timeline. One Lucky will spin at the Diamond Casino once per day, with the Brigham sitting on the podium as this week's vehicle. Land on it, and the car goes straight into your garage. Miss it, and the podium vehicle rotates when the next weekly update rolls in, and the Brigham moves on with it. Neither challenge costs anything to attempt, and both the LS Car Meet and the Diamond Casino are accessible to any player already running in GTA Online. $3.75 million in free vehicles landing in the same week is not a regular occurrence in GTA Online, and the range between these two cars covers more of the garage spectrum than most weekly lineups manage. The Grotti Vision clocked 237 on a first impression lap, runs strong downforce that keeps it planted even off the throttle, carries a McLaren P1, inspired front end that earns the $2.25 million price it normally commands, and costs nothing beyond 4 consecutive top 5 finishes in the LS Car Meet. The Albany Brigham posted 322 exists almost entirely for vintage style and Ghostbusters nostalgia, and is worth keeping in the garage if the lucky will gives it to you. $0 for either vehicle. Both unlock methods live right now, and the Vision Challenge clock running whether you start today or not. Get the LS car meet streak going. Take the casino spin on the Brigham and pull $3.75 million worth of cars into your garage before this week's update ends. Drop a like if this helped. Subscribe for daily GTA online content. See you in the next one.